Hi, my name's Aran Curry, and today I'm going to be showing you the two most powerful ways to find motivated sellers. The only people that will sell their house for less than it's worth. Today's video is the third in a four-part series revealing the proven high-performing property sourcing strategies that my team use to uncover £100 million worth of discounted deals every single month. And in this video series, I'll show you how you can use the most powerful sourcing strategies to uncover at least 5 discount deals a month that you'll want to buy with only 1 hour a week of your time. As you're going to discover, many of these proven high-performing property sourcing strategies are free to start using. So you don't need much time, you don't need any money, and you can start buying discounted deals at the most profitable time in over a decade, whilst other investors are still waiting for news of the housing market crash. Now, before we go any further, just want to quickly explain why the video quality is not what I'd like it to be. As you know, we're in the middle of the second lockdown right now. We can't have people into our houses, so I can't work with a videographer. It's just me with my laptop and a webcam. So if you want to know the proven high-performing property sourcing strategies that are free to use, so you can buy discounted deals at the most profitable time in over a decade, while other investors wait for news of the housing market crash, and if the information is more important to you than the video quality, then you'll love this 4-part video series. Now, in the first video in this series, I explained exactly what is going on in the housing market right now. I explained that although the newspapers and the news outlets are telling you that the market might still be booming, or was booming still in October, etc., I explained that off market, we've bought over 60 property deals, agreed 60 deals with big, large discounts in the month of November. And I explained why the off-market trend is ahead of what the newspapers print, and why what the newspapers print is normally 2 to 4 months old data and information. So if you didn't watch video 1, the truth is you won't find discounted deals right now through estate agents. They'll tell you what you've read in the newspaper, that house prices are booming because they want you to pay more. You will find discounted deals with the off-market sourcing secrets that you'll learn in this video series. And in the first video, I share with you 2 sourcing strategies that my team used to find the majority of those 60 discounted deals we've agreed already in November. So if you haven't watched video 1, then pause this video right now, come back to it later, but go watch video 1, which will be somewhere around here. There'll be a link that you can click and go and watch video 1 in the series. In the second video in the series, I showed you how to dig up houses that put 4 times more money in your pocket because they profit from cash flow and 2 other ways as well. And a side benefit of buying these houses is they're much easier to manage. So if you'd like your property journey to be much more profitable with less hassle, then you'll love the second video. If you haven't seen it, you can watch it now by clicking the link again somewhere around this video and go watch video number 2. In today's video, I'm going to be showing you the 2 actually, most powerful ways to find motivated sellers. The only people that will sell their house for less than it's worth. Now, to illustrate the first way to find motivated sellers, I need to take you back with me 20 years to when I was just starting my property journey. I didn't really know what I was doing, but I was hungry to get quick results. And it's that hunger that revealed the importance of the first strategy. So at this time, we've bought, I think, a couple of buy-to-lets. We're negotiating on a HMO, a house and multiple occupation that we'd quite like to buy, but it's been going on for months and months and months, and we're not agreeing on price, and it's not looking likely to happen. And I'm using somebody else's money to invest. So it's not even my money we're using to invest. But I'm so keen and so desperate to get moving. And suddenly, this is back in the day when estate agents advertise things, suddenly I find out about this portfolio of 4 houses of multiple occupation, 4 HMOs. And I'm like, that would be amazing. If we can get 4 HMOs right now and get those in our portfolio, the cash flow from all of those, this is going to be absolutely amazing. And one of these was I can't remember, a 12-bed HMO. I think there was a couple of 5 beds and a 7 bed in there. I'm like, this is going to be phenomenal. So I'm really excited, and I ring up the estate agent and I say, hey, I'd like to arrange to view these HMOs. Can I arrange to view them, please? Now, most people don't think big like me. Most people would be terrified about that. They'd say, well, we haven't even bought 1 yet. Definitely don't start looking at 4. Don't be looking at 4. And I didn't know the importance of thinking big back then. Maybe I was just blessed enough that I did. But I was like piling in. I was like, I need to view them. Anyway, the estate agent ring me back 10 minutes later. They say, I'm really sorry you can't view them. The landlord's going on holiday tomorrow morning. There's no chance to be able to view them. You're not going to be able to view the properties. And I'm like, this is crazy. I'm like, how long are they going to be away for? They're like 2.5 weeks. 2.5 weeks. I want to view them. I want to offer on these houses. I want to be buying them today. So I put the phone down. I'm like, there must be a way. There must be a way. I'm great at that. That's one of the gifts I've always had. There must be a way. So what I do, I get in the car and I drive down to the estate agent's office. And the estate agent back then didn't know me very well because I've not bought any houses from them yet at this point. So I walk into the estate agent office and I see the receptionist lady, and I go up to the receptionist and say, I'm interested in arranging a viewing for these properties, please. And she doesn't know, well, it probably wasn't even her I spoke to before. I don't know if it was or it wasn't. And she says, oh, okay. And she goes to pull up the details on her screen. Now I position myself subtly behind her to her right so I can see her screen. And what I'm there for is the phone number of the landlord. Well, I'm praying she's going to get me a different answer, but she pulls up the screen, she reads a note, and she says, I'm really sorry, but you're not going to be able to view it. The landlord's going on holiday for 2 weeks from tomorrow. You're not going to be able to view it. Now, she carries on talking. I have looked over her shoulder, seen the landlord's name and phone number, this 11-digit number, and I'm desperately trying to retain this 11-digit number in my head without showing the receptionist that that's what I've done. So she keeps talking, and I'm like, I've got to go. And I leave, and as soon as I leave, I'm furiously writing down this 11-digit number. And I actually wrote it down 3 times because I wasn't quite sure on one of the digits. By the time I got out, I wasn't quite sure on one of the digits. So what do? I ring up the landlord straight away. It's about 4:30 p.m. The day before this landlord's due to go on holiday. I ring up the landlord and say, hey, I know you've got your properties up for sale with Colin Ellis. I know you're going on holiday in the morning. I'm really interested in your properties. I'd really, really like to view them. Is it possible that we can view your properties? And the landlord's like, well, yeah, I am going away tomorrow. I said, but we're keen. I don't want to wait 2.5 weeks. We'll have bought something else. I threaten to take it away from him, don't I? We'll have bought something else by the time you come back. Okay, well, yeah, I can arrange to meet you if you want to meet. I can arrange to meet you and show you around. Great, when can you be there? 45 minutes? Great, I'll see you there. Now I turn up. Bear in mind, I've only ever bought a couple of houses. I've only looked at one HMO. I'm 26, 27 years old. Can't remember my exact age, about 27. Pretty naive around the edges. And I turn up to view 4 HMOs, not just one, but 4. And I'm just fascinated. To be honest, I'm just delighted to be in the game. I can't believe I'm dealing with 4 HMOs. I'm asking questions like crazy while he shows me around. I'm like, how does that work? How do you meet them? How do you build them? You're probably freaking out. He said, flipping heck, all these questions. I'm like, and I ask all these questions, and I find out all this information, and I get to view the 4 HMOs. It takes us 2-3 hours. I get to view them all. And I'm like, we're going to be interested. When are you flying? He goes, well, I'm flying tomorrow, but you will be able to get hold of me. I'll have my mobile. I'm like, brilliant. Absolutely brilliant. Great. Okay, well, I'll ring you tomorrow. By tea time tomorrow, I'll ring you. As soon as you land, I'll ring you. Sure enough, we sit down, and I'm like, we need this deal. Now, as a side note, I started thinking big, going after this deal. I don't have the money to buy this deal. And at the moment, I don't have the agreement from Mark, my partner who we bought the first couple with, didn't have the agreement from him either. So I'm like, round to Mark, I'm like, listen, I've found this deal. It's amazing. It's going to be absolutely great. I'm so energized. I'm so pumped. I'm talking, thinking big with him. I'm like, this is going to get us, we're both going to have a great income from this. Mark's like, oh, wow, okay then. I'm like, don't worry, if you don't want to do it, I'll find someone else. He's like, no. If you ever meet Mark, he's a Yorkshire guy. He looks after his money, but he hates to miss out on a deal. And I'm like, there's 4 deals here. So sure enough, I ring the guy the next morning. Next evening, he's on holiday. and we go back and forth and we agree a deal for these 4 properties. Did I negotiate an amazing discount? Probably not. But did I negotiate on 4 deals that we could afford to put the deposits in to get? We had the money from what Mark could put in, and they were going to cash flow brilliantly? Absolutely. And did it get us to 4 properties straight away? Absolutely. Absolutely. So we agree, and we agree a price, and I'm like, are you up for that? And I'm like, which solicitor are you going to use? And I'm like, I'm going to use this solicitor. Cool. That's great. I said, listen, you're on holiday. You enjoy your holiday. I will contact the estate agents now, and I'll let them know we've agreed a deal, that that's the price. These are this. I'll ask them to get everything moving. I love that call to the estate agents. I ring the estate agents, and they are cross. They're like, how have you? We told you couldn't view. I'm like, well, I did, and we've agreed a deal. It's good news. You're going to get paid. We've agreed a deal. They're like, well, we're going to have to check with him. It's no problem. Well, it'll have to wait till. I said, check with him now. He's answering the phone. He wants the deal done. He wants it sold as much as you do, and you get paid, and I want to buy it. Just ring him. Text him if you don't want to ring him. Anyway, finally, they see some sense. They contact him. He confirms, and we crack on. And we end up with 4 HMO properties that we wouldn't have got. If I didn't take state. In video number 1, I taught you about having the right state. Did I take a great physiology? Did I take a great focus? Did I turn up in a great place, both at the estate agents when I looked over and at the viewings? And did I build rapport and everything? Absolutely. Okay. But what's the moral of this story? Why have I shared it? You've got to think big, and you've got to be prepared to act before you're ready. Before you're ready. I was looking to buy 1 HMO. I didn't have the experience or the money to buy 4 HMOs, but that didn't stop me from playing big. And it shouldn't stop you either. Whichever strategy, don't mind if it's buy-to-lets, HMOs, service accommodation, holiday lets, think big. I'm not suggesting you act recklessly. I'm saying you've got to think big before you're ready. What do I mean by that? I mean that you should tell people that you're looking to buy a portfolio of 4 to 10 houses, even if you've only got the money to buy 1. Why? We covered some of this in video 1. The first reason is that it positions you as an expert. And we all want to work with experts. So if you've got a house that you want to sell fast, who do you want to sell it to? The newbie looking to do their first deal, or the expert that wants to buy a portfolio of 4 to 10? It's a real simple answer, right? We want the property expert to buy our house because it gives us more certainty that they can definitely deliver on the deal. What have you done to position yourself as a property expert? The only thing you've done is tell the world that you're looking for larger portfolios. That's it. And this attracts people to you. The people who have 1 house will still approach you. The big difference is the way they approach you. They're likely to say something like, I know you're looking to buy a portfolio of 10 plus, but would you be interested in my house? They're now after you. You've been positioned. It's not the other way around. Because you've positioned yourself as an expert, they're asking you if you consider buying their house. Makes a huge difference on how you can negotiate with them. And it's only because you position yourself differently. The other reason why you've got to think big is you make yourself memorable. People will remember the investor that wants to buy portfolios because so few people say that. Why do potential JV partners, or who do potential JV partners want to work with? You're absolutely right. They want to work with experts. So you've got to start thinking big. It's the fastest way to put you on easy street in terms of digging up discounted deals and growing your portfolio with other people's money. The final reason why you've got to start thinking big is that in life, you get what you ask for. So if you tell people you know that you're looking to buy 1 investment property, they'll tell you about someone that wants to sell their house. If you tell everyone you know that you're looking to buy portfolios of 4 to 10 houses, then that is what will come back at you. I cannot emphasize enough the importance of thinking big. You're not misleading anyone. If someone comes to you then with 10 properties that are mega deals, come get my help. Buy one, the one that you want, and sell the other 9 on and get paid for it. To the Insight Group or somebody like that. Just deal with that problem when you get to it. Just like I was willing to deal with the 4 HMOs. If I could get the deal agreed, then I'd work out how to buy it. This simple mindset shift. and changing your language and your focus will change the game for you. It will change your life from an investing point of view. You'll dig up more discounted off-market deals with less of your time, and you'll attract JV partners. So, okay, we've covered thinking big. What's the second most powerful way to find motivated sellers for free? It's building on the secrets I revealed to you in the last video in this series about how to uncover houses that put 4 times more money in your pocket because they profit from cash flow in 2 other ways. Now you can use technology to leverage that insight, save you time, and allow you to safely offer on houses that you haven't even seen. So let me talk you through and show you how. I want to be really clear with what I'm about to teach you now. Let me give you the outline of how this works. And I've never, ever shared this without someone paying me at least £2,000 to be on a program with me. So you want to watch this carefully. You want to take notes like crazy, okay? There's an 18-step process, and I'm just going to walk you through slide by slide by slide. I'll use the bullet points, etc. I'm going to walk you through what you need to do, okay? But let me give you an outline of this. Imagine if you could find the exact area, so first of all, the right town and city, and then the right streets in that town and city that you wanted to buy your houses on. Then you set up, secondly, rightmove alerts, so that rightmove automatically contacts you if a house comes for sale on any of those streets in those towns and cities where you want to buy your houses. Then thirdly, without even going to see the property, if you have my scripts, you can put in an offer on the houses. The estate agent might object at first. They say, oh, you haven't viewed it, you can't offer. By law, they have to put an offer forward. So if you know what to say to them, they now put in the offer for you on these houses straight away. You now, fourthly, get slapped a lot of times. No, I won't sell for that. No, 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 no. Fifth, somebody comes back and says, I'll sell for that. If you're going to give me the speed and the certainty that you said in your offer email and your offer phone call, I will sell for 15% below what it's worth to get this done. I'm desperate to sell. I want to get it done. And you'll go, yes, brilliant. Let's get it done. And at that point, you'll get in the car and drive to do a viewing, because now you're only viewing properties where you've got a motivated seller who's already agreed to your price. 5 steps. Sort your areas out, the streets you want to buy on. Get your rightmove alert set up. Put your offers in. Get slapped like crazy. It's not a physical slap, don't worry. And then when they agree, you've got a deal already agreed on the street you want it on, at the price you want it on. Then drive and look at it to triple check it's what you thought, and then move forward and buy it. How cool is that? How cool would it be able to be to do that and to get your properties in that way? You can be in lockdown, not going out of your house, and agreeing deals, just like many of my students are. So let me talk you through this 18-step process. I don't have time to give you every single piece of script right now and all the absolute detail, but let me give you the guidance on these 18 steps and what you need to do. So the first step is to identify an area that you can buy properties valued between 70 and 140,000. That's 70 and 140,000. Why? If you watch video number 2 and you do the 6 C's, this is for buy to let, by the way. I'm sharing the buy to let one. If you want to learn more about the other ones, I'll do some later videos, or join me on one of my programs. I'll show you exactly how. I have this process for every single type of strategy, but I only have time to show you one. So let's say it's buy to let properties. We're going to identify an area. You can buy properties valued between 70 and 140. Why? Because that's the sweet spot for great capital growth and great cash flow right now. If you don't know what I mean, go watch video number 2 in the series. So you identify an area. Let's say you've picked Leeds, okay, valued at 70 to 140. Next, step 2. You check the school Ofsted reports for the secondary schools and the primary schools in the area, and you're looking for them to be good or outstanding. So you get your map of Leeds, you identify, let's say there's 30 schools, I don't know how many there is, and 10 of them, or 12 of them, let's say, are good or outstanding. So the other 18 you're not interested in, the 12 that are good or outstanding, you are interested in, okay? Now, step number three. Step number three. Well, actually, before we go to step number three, you'll draw a circle around those towns that's a 2-mile radius around those schools, and you'll check the catchment area as well. And that will help you identify the streets that are within the catchment area of that school that's good or outstanding and are within 2 miles of that school. Now, some of your schools might overlap, of course. Some of the areas might overlap. But you've now identified the parts of Leeds that you're definitely not interested in. We're only 2 steps in here. And the parts of Leeds that you're really interested in. So what's step number 3? The third step is to be clear on the specific property type you're buying. For example, you might be buying 3-bedroom semi-detached. You might be buying 3-bedroom terraces. Or you might have found 2-bedroom houses that have got such massive bedrooms that you can take a wall down and put 2 new walls up, and that could be a 3-bedroom house. Be clear on what type you're looking at so you can compare like for like. What's step number 4? Check that the area meets the rules for capital in the 6 Cs. That means check it's got good public transport, bus or train or tram to the city centre, good road network, good shopping nearby. What's step number 5? Check it's within 5 miles of the city centre. So you draw your line round that's 5 miles of the city centre. That cuts out some of those streets in some of those catchment areas. If the school was right on the edge, it would have had some of its circle spilling out onto the edge. So now you've identified certain schools, certain streets near those schools, and you're at this stage. Next, what we're going to do, you pick one of those areas. So let's say I'm in Leeds and I pick Beeston in Leeds. So I pick Beeston in Leeds or Meanwood in Leeds or any one of the suburbs there. And I go, right, which streets in this suburb are on this map that are still not shaded out, that are potentials for me? And you speak to 3 local letting agents. And you're asking the local letting agents what they think your target property will rent for. Will it rent for 600 a month, 650 a month, 700 a month, 550 a month? You get the 3 figures, you ask them why, you say, if I want to rent it within a month, what's it going to rent for? And that gives you a feel of what these properties will rent for. Why? Because then you can do point number 7. You check the cash flow. Do you notice how all this feeds back into the 6 Cs? You check the cash flow for properties in this area by checking those normal rents and running them through the cash flow check for what you think is the average price. Now, at that point, that might rule out 4 of the 10 schools you've still got in the running. Because you go, the cash flow is not going to be enough on those, it's not going to work. Ruled out, ruled out, ruled out, ruled out. You might have properties valued 70 to 140 has ruled out another 3 areas. Because North Leeds, I'm just guessing, but North Leeds is too affluent. So ruled out, ruled out, ruled out. You're down to 2 or 3 school catchment areas now. Small parts of those catchment areas, the streets that you want to buy on. Okay? Now what you're going to do is check demand for a property in this area to do the check rule. So you're going to advertise it and look for at least 10 replies. Okay? So you put your advert up, you check there's at least 10 replies. C for check. We covered it in the 6 Cs, didn't we? So now you know that's ruled out another area. You might be down to 1 school catchment area in Leeds, by the way. You know, at the Insight Group, we buy in 40 towns and cities. Doesn't mean we buy on most streets in those 40 towns and cities. You know, we might be in one area in 5 school catchment areas, another in 2, another in 7, another in 3, another in 1. We know the exact streets we want to buy in, but you follow this process, you can do the same. So you check the demand for the property in the area. You've now thoroughd down. You know at the moment, based on the rents you think you'll get, there is a good demand for properties in this area. It's within 5 miles of the city centre. It meets all the 6 Cs so far. This is looking good. So what do you do next? Well, step number 9, you now look at sold house prices, not for sale prices. So go on Rightmove, but click on sold house prices where they list the sold prices over the last year. Over the last year, use Rightmove. Make sure you've got at least 10 properties sold in the last year within a mile of the streets that you're looking at. Okay? And those properties need to be the same type of properties, that you're planning to buy. So if it's 3-bed terraces, They need to be 3-bed terraces. Don't go, oh, I haven't got 10. I'll just pretend I'll put these 2 semis in as well. If you don't have at least 10 comparables that have sold in the last year within a mile that are the same type of properties, walk away. And people say to me, well, you know, they might still be great deals. They might, but they might not be. You don't have enough comparable evidence to know. So there needs to be at least 10 within a mile on Rightmove, sold prices, same type as yours. Now what you do is you put those 10 in a list. So that's sold for 100, that's sold for 100, that's sold for 101, 101, 102 and a half, 102 and a half, 102 and a half, 103, 110. And then you might have one down here at 87 and one up here at 140. Okay. So you put them all in a list and then you do point number 10, which is cut off the outliers. Anything that is more than 10k outside the normal trend. So look for what the normal trend is and then go, right, that's a total outlier. That one up there, we'll cut that off. That's a total outlier, that one down there. We'll cut that one off as well. And you need to make sure there's at least 8 left. If from your original 10, you've cut off 4 outliers and there's only 6 left at normal trend, not enough, you've got to walk away from the area. And you start again. This is hard work at first, but this work, you do it once, and for the rest of your life, you know the very streets to buy your investment properties on, and it gets unbelievably easy. Okay? So now you've cut off those outliers, and let's say you've got at least 8 left, because you might have had 15 properties to start with, cut off 3 outliers, you've got 12 left. As long as you've got 8 left, you then work out an average price. So a lot in the one I just said, I had a lot of 100, 101, 102 and a half or something. So let's say my average price for easy maths for me was 100. So I'm like, the average price for these properties in this area that are still left is £100,000. What's step 12? Decide what discount you want. Let's say I want a 15% discount. Just literally knock 15% off that average. So I'm like, right, £85,000 would be 15% off 100. Step 13, that is your offer price. Look at what is on the market that matches your criteria. So you go back to those streets, you look for those 3-bedroom semis or 3-bedroom terrace or whatever it is in that area right now on Rightmove. You find those target properties and you put your offer to the estate agents on that property. Now beware, houses on Rightmove sell on average for 7% below their last listed price. You know, they weren't doing in September or October when the market's booming, they say. You know, at that time they won't do, but in a normal market, that's what they do. And very soon that's what they'll be doing. So if you're putting an offer in 15% below what you think it's worth, based on the sold prices, this might be a property that's up for sale at 110. They're selling for 100 and you're offering 85. So you might be offering 20 to 25% below what it's up for sale at. That's why I know you're going to get some slaps. That's why I know you're going to get some estate agents say no to you. You've got to have your script to be able to put these offers in really, really well. Don't have time to teach that right now, but you can be putting offers in. You've got to remember to position your offer with the estate agent in the right way. When you first, so this is step 14. So you're going to ring up now on 10 different houses and you're going to offer 85,000 on them all. They're going to say, we haven't even viewed it. You're going to say, I know I haven't viewed it, but I definitely want to go ahead. If they can sell it for 85, I'm in. If they can't, there's no point you wasting your time, them wasting their time, me wasting my time. And then you have an offer script with the estate agent. You don't want to, step 14, you don't want to be putting your offer in with the receptionist. You want to say, hey, I'd like to speak to whoever, I've got an offer to put forward, but can I speak to whoever's going to put the offer forward, please? And the receptionist say, well, they're not available right now. Why don't you give the offer to me? No, can I speak to the person that's going to put the offer forward? Okay. It's really important to speak to the person that's going to put the offer forward so you can tell them the words you want them to use, and then you can send them an email you want them to put in front of the vendor. The outlines that you get that your offer is a really low offer, that you get that if they can sell it for more money, they should do, but also that tells them very clearly if they want speed and certainty, you are here, you will deliver, and this is a great solid offer if they want speed and certainty. And because it's a low offer, you're going to get multiple slaps. Step 15, make multiple offers and get slapped a lot of times. Slap, 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 slap. It's like young teenage guys, isn't it? You know, sometimes I have them come into my event rooms. I can tell they're cool dudes. They've got these caps on backwards and they're really, really cool. They're sat there learning. I think it's great they're sat there learning, by the way, but they're really cool. How many times will they get slapped on a Friday or Saturday night out when COVID's not going on and they're in the nightclub and they're trying to get a girl to give them a kiss? How many slaps will they take? How many no's will they take? How many go-aways will they take? As many as it takes. As many as it takes, because they know whether it's midnight, 1 a.m., 2 a.m., 3 a.m., 4 a.m., at some point someone might say yes. And when someone says yes, they know, they believe the prize is worth it. It's worth the slaps. Is it worth it to have 100 people say no thank you to your offer, to have the 101st say yes, when you haven't had to view any houses at all? You haven't even had to leave your front room or your home office to make these offers. And when you do get an offer accepted, you know you'll be driving to the house with a deal already done. So you make multiple offers and you get slapped as many times as you need to. Okay. Does this make sense? Does this make sense? If it doesn't, go back through it and write down those 15 steps. Step 16. Step 16 is to appreciate they don't like putting your offers forward. You know, they don't like ringing up the vendor and go, hey, vendor, I told you your house should be marketed at 110. I've got an offer for you. It's 85. Now, by law, they've got to put the offer forward. So if you appreciate it, if you tell them that you understand they won't enjoy putting it forward, if you tell them that you're serious, though, if you tell them that you understand if the vendor doesn't accept it, but you just want them to know there's an option there if they want it, and you explain all that in the right way, they'll then put that offer forward in the right way. Instead of ringing up and going, Mr. and Mrs. Smith, I'm really sorry to bother you. You're not going to want to hear this. I mean, what a great intro. You're not going to want to hear this. We said 110. Some idiots offered 85. I know you won't want to take it, but I just thought I'd better tell you. They're never going to agree to that. But if it's put forward in the right way, then you quadruple, you 5 times, you 10 times the chances of them agreeing to that situation. Step 17. When a property is agreed, you have to be ready with your expert team and you have to make it happen. You have to prove it. You have to do what you've said on the tin. And you've said you'll move with speed. You've said you'll move with certainty. You've said you'll get it done. And step 18 is to take donuts every Monday morning. So this is a bit left field and it touches into another strategy, which again, I don't have time to teach right now, but you want to build rapport and relationship. If these estate agents happen to be close to you, the best way to build rapport and relationship is to go make a gift each week. Each Monday morning, 8:30 a.m., 9 a.m., just go in with a bag of donuts and drop them off. Now, I'll teach you that strategy in a lot more detail at a later date, and exactly how to become the estate agent's banker so they ring you first before this even goes on Rightmove. Before this is even put on Rightmove, you're getting the call to say that you can have this property. But let's go back to the summary here. What I've just taught you is the steps, the 18 steps to get your area identified. What you then do, like I said, is you set up your Rightmove alerts, and then you offer on every house that Rightmove emails you on. A Rightmove alert means they just email you if a house comes up on one of the streets that you're interested in that you might be interested in. And most of your offers will be rejected, and that's okay, because you haven't invested any more time to find them. The ones that say yes to your offer are definitely motivated. And you know that their house is a deal that will put 4 times more money in your pocket because it meets all the rules. This is an incredibly powerful property sourcing strategy because you find motivated sellers with houses that put 4 times more money in your pocket with none of your time. You put the effort in up front to set up the process, the effort to identify the towns, the cities, the streets, and then you let it work for you in the background forever. Whenever you need another deal, this is how you find it. This is unbelievably simple. You just need to step forward and take the action. Here's the most important thing that I want you to realize. You can find off-market discount deals starting tomorrow or today with no more than an hour a week. You don't need to dedicate a lot of time to find the deals that will transform your financial future. You just need to use these strategies that I'm showing you regularly and consistently, and you'll start to get a steady stream of discount deals pinging into your inbox. There are 2 proven high-performing property sourcing strategies to find motivated sellers, the only people that will sell their house for less than it's worth. Now, as you know, and as I tell you at the end of every video, hard-won secrets will not change your life without what? Without action. You've done some learning now. Let's take some action. Let's train our body to take action when we learn. Learn action, learn action, learn action. So I'm not going to ask you to do anything complicated, but I'm going to ask you to take a small action to use the hard-won secrets to change your financial future. So do you remember at the end of video 2, you won't have done the 18 steps right now. I'm not going to ask you to do those straight away right now because it might take a while the first time out. But at the end of video 2, you just identified a school in the town or city you might be interested in, and you've drawn that circle around the school, and you've identified some potential streets, potentially. What I'd like you to do is just for those potential streets, go on Rightmove and practice setting up the alert system. So go on Rightmove, find those potential streets and set up an alert so that Rightmove starts to email you so you know that you know how to do that bit. For those of you scared of technology, you see it's unbelievable. You're just clicking a couple of buttons and now you start to get emails into your inbox automatically from Rightmove telling you when deals come up on those streets. Later on, you'll implement all the 18 steps I just taught you. Later on, you'll think big, and later on, you'll go and then set your Rightmove alerts more specifically. But just go practice for now so you get that this piece works, you know how to set the alerts, and you can see how easy this can become. In the final video in this series, the 4th video, I'm going to be sharing with you the 5 questions to use that uncover what's most important to the seller and what's more important to the seller than price. Wouldn't it be useful to know what's more important to the seller than price? And I'll show you how to ask them in a conversational way, a conversational, non-threatening way, so you find out what's important to them and then you meet their needs and your needs. We can do all of this ethically. We can source world-class properties with massive discounts ethically because the vendor wants to sell for speed and certainty and is happy to sell at discount, even though these properties are in amazing areas and that meet all the rules, and you get an amazing property for your portfolio. Once you know what's more important to the seller than price of their house, then you can help them move on with their life, which means they'll accept your offer even if someone else offers them a higher price. And I'm going to share an example of that, a recent example, in the next video. So if you'd like a simple way to make sure your deals don't fall out of bed, you're going to love my next video. And you're going to get that in the next couple of days. Until then, make sure if you didn't listen to me before, go watch video 1 and 2. So that you've watched video 1, 2, and 3, and then video 4 coming in a couple of days' time. And look after yourself, look after the people you love, and bottom line, invest with knowledge, invest with confidence, create financial freedom. I'll see you real soon. Thank you.